Welcome to Her Money with Reese. Also, my husband and I have a podcast, Bartel's Money Talk, which is on Substack and podcasting. And I interviewed a gentleman that is just phenomenal, and it was heavy on my heart to share this with you ladies. Please listen to this video in the entirety. He has so much information regarding your finances and real estate and setting yourself up to where you're not dependent on a man to take care of you. I am definitely not against a man taking care of you. I myself am married, but I also got my education just in case I needed to be able to take care of myself and my children. So I'm not promoting that, but I'm also living in reality. And women, sometimes we can be vulnerable if we stay at home with our children, if we give up our career and be stay-at-home moms. So please just sit tight, enjoy my interview with Mr. Alex Edwards. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show.
If you're on a BHA program, a Section 8, I advise you to pause this right now and call your caseworker to see if they have this program, because this is the best program out for you. Before you find Mrs. Right or Mr. Right, make sure you get your finances right. It's very important. I want to be honest with you. No one's going to love you like you love you.
Alex, can you please tell me, why do you think it's important for an individual to purchase a piece of real estate prior to marriage?
Because I truly believe love is overrated until you love yourself first. And before you chase Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, you should get your finances right. Finances is the second reason why people get married. So won't you get your finances together before you get married so you can stay married?
Well, I like that. Well, listeners, I encourage you to listen to this episode. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about love and marriage when it comes to real estate. So I would like to welcome you to Bartel's Money Talk. I am Teresa, and we thank you so much for joining us. And now, Alex, if you can tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your background.
Definitely. My name is Alex Edwards. I'm the author of Mortgage Before Marriage and also the author of A Money Power Prenup. I'm a I'm a real estate broker in Massachusetts. I have about 50, close to 60 agents working with me here in Massachusetts. I build a lot of homes in Massachusetts as well. And I'm a huge real estate investor and also a TEDx speaker.
Yes, and I saw that about you. I'm so happy to know that you are a TEDx speaker. And listeners, if you don't know, in order to be a TEDx speaker, you have to be on your game, you have to be speaking well, and you have to know your content. So I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Are welcome. And so you said, like, before marriage, you need to get yourself together financially. But why do you think purchasing real estate is a way for someone to get themselves together prior to marriage?
So a couple things. Real estate is the easiest way to build wealth. Right? Think about it. If I want to purchase a home at $1 million, say a 3-family in Boston, I can use the FHA loan. FHA product, they allow me to put down 3.5. That means I have to give someone $35,000 to borrow $1 million. That makes sense to me. And collect rent. It just makes sense to me, right? That's just easy. It's easy math. So real estate is just, to me, is the easiest way to gain wealth. Now, in Massachusetts and a lot of states in the US, they offer down payment assistance, closing cost assistance, right? And these closing costs and all these assistance, a lot of these assistance go by income, right? Go by your income. So if you say, for instance, one of the products, you can't make more than 150,000. And as an individual, you make, let's say, 80,000. Well, you qualify, right? Now, if you get married and your spouse makes 100,000, you no longer qualify.
That's right.
Right? So what I tell my clients is, let's take all the money from the government before you get married. You buy a house, you buy a house. You want to buy two, you want to buy two. You want to buy three, you want to buy three. Fine. You get married. That's 6 homes in a marriage. That's 6 homes feeding this marriage. Vacations, private school, honeymoon, wedding. Like, this 6 homes is doing this for this marriage. If you don't do it before marriage, you don't have that life. And then you're going to fight about money and get a divorce.
Alex, I got so many things going through my brain, and my husband will tell anybody I can pop the questions. It's just so many. So I got to write down this one because we got to come back to this one. But because I'm not like a real estate expert, you mentioned, and I think the listeners also need to hear this. Like to me, it feels like a foundational thing that listeners need to know. Is like when you do get married, depending on what real estate or what loan program you go after, you won't qualify. And Alex, honestly, I never considered that. But when you get married, a lot of times, depending on your income, you can income yourself out of a great product.
Correct.
And so I think it's so wonderful that you're telling people that because not many people would think of that. So I appreciate that you're saying that. So you tell your clients prior to getting married, let's get into these programs. And then if you got 6 homes over time, you'll definitely get able to retire early.
Together.
Yes. And so you
Together.
say it would cut down on financial fights. And so why do you say that?
Because the second most reason why people get divorced is finances.
Uh-huh.
Finances. Arguing about finances. 20% of women are in financial abusive relationships.
Yes.
They can't afford to leave. So why would I want to be in a relationship that I cannot leave because I can't afford to leave, but I'm getting treated bad? Why would I allow someone to take care of me? Like this why I'm a female or male. Why would I allow someone to take care of me? I don't care how much you love me, you know? Like
Alex.
my mom I remember my mom wanted to pay my phone bill in my 20s still. She was like, you don't have to, I'll take care of it. And I said, no, absolutely not. I don't want no grown person to take care of me. I'm going to do what I want, when I want. I left my mom's house. I bought my first home at 20 years old. So I didn't want anyone to take care of me. And also, most importantly, if I did this, so it's not a myth. You know, before I got married, my wife agreed to buy multifamily as well because I already had one. So God forbid if something happened to me, my wife is not getting remarried because she needs money or needs someone to take care of her. My daughter already have a home in her name and she's 8 years old. She's 6 years old and she doesn't have to get married for someone to take care of her. And it's just unfortunately society, you know, especially for the woman, is go to school, get a job, Mr. Right. Go to school, get a job, Mr. Right. There's no, what about starting a business? What about becoming Mrs. Right and financially right? We don't talk about that at all. So now Mr. Right don't want her. She has no career because she's been a mom for the last 15, 20 years. What happened now?
Alex, I'm about to have to put my pen down. You give me goosebumps. I almost feel like the tears coming in my eyes because you have no idea like what it feels like to talk to a woman that is stuck. And she is stuck because she stayed home with the children, or she's stuck because she has no experience in her job. The husband control all the money. And I'm like, why? How did you get yourself in this situation? But you're saying real estate, if she do it early, is a way for her to get out.
Because she's not married. So she could have used all these programs before she got married and already had a home. So that would have been her way out regardless, right? That would have been her way out regardless. Just take advantage of these government assistance programs. It's a no-brainer.
It is. And so like so we have a couple, right? Before they get married and they buy these properties. How do you recommend to do they do this? Do they put it in both of their names or do they keep it individually? How do they? Okay, so what should they do?
You said when before they get married. You said
Okay, so before they get married, they buy their own properties. But when they get married, how does that work?
That's a real good question. So it's a couple things. One, I believe in prenups. Like,
okay.
If you get a prenup, believe it or not, you're more likely to stay together versus someone that doesn't have a prenup.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, right? Because a prenup is a plan.
Uh-huh.
This is our plan, right? And there's also protection. If I'm running a business, I run Thumbprint, I'm running this business and I get sued, I don't want that to enter my marriage, right?
Right.
So the prenup protects the marriage, right? So I believe in prenups. And with that being said, your prenup, you could say the homes that was purchased before the marriage, it's mine only. The homes that was purchased before the marriage that you purchased is yours only. The rent's mine, the house mine, everything's mine. So now it's separate,
Okay.
right? It's separate.
Uh-huh.
And and guess what? If you have if you have more, go buy another house. Go buy another house. Go buy another house. Love is going to be there. If it's real love, it's going to always be there.
Oh, yes.
What you're doing, right? I want all couples to understand what I'm doing for you. I am building your retirement together. I am also building your love together. Because if you're not worrying about finances, you're going to just stay and worry about your love, right? You're going to travel the world. You're going to experience things that most couples will never experience. You are going to make a lot of money while you sleep and make love. It's which one you think is better, making love broke or making love with nothing on your mind?
Well, I know which one I prefer.
So it's just common sense. It's not like a big idea. It's actually just, if you think about it, it's like, wait a minute, that's actually common sense. I should just kind of love me first by building my financial foundation and find someone that want to do the same thing, and then we get married because we will have the same mindset, same credit, same down. Like, we probably stay together longer.
Wow. And so you mentioned that your 6-year-old daughter has a home in her name. Is that something hard to do because she is a minor?
It's a trust. It's a trust. Just create a trust.
Okay.
It's not hard. Yeah, and name her the beneficiary.
Okay. So tell the listeners a little bit. So what you did, you have a trust, and in the trust, if when you pass or whatever, does it automatically go to her? How does that work?
No. So she's a beneficiary, but it's still rules to my trust. So she can never sell it. Equity. She can't just drain the equity. She could take a loan, but she would have to speak to like a financial advisor, come up with a business plan to borrow from the house. And whatever she borrows has to make more money. And then she has to build the same structure I build for her. She has to do it for her children as well. So it's a lot of rules for my trust. And she gets some money at different ages of her life.
You are just phenomenal, but I have to ask, okay, you are an African American man, and where I grew up, my family didn't know about money. God blessed us to where I learned about money later in life so that we wouldn't have a broke retirement. But you said you bought your first home when you were 20 years old. How in the world did you know to do that? Did your parents teach you this? How did you know?
No, so actually, I grew up extremely poor. I grew up extremely poor. Around this time, at a young, at I would say probably from six to about, I don't know, 6 to 13, 16. We didn't have any heat
Wow.
in the winter, so we slept with bubble coats. Slept with bubble coats, and we ate waffles for breakfast, waffles for lunch and dinner. Ironically, I never knew I was poor. 'Cause I was morally rich. And my mom, I love my mom so much. She's a strong woman. Her name is Hyacinth. And she did everything to keep a roof over our head. Everything. She never lost the roof. We didn't have food. She never lost the roof. We didn't have heat. She never lost the roof. Right. And that's so important. And so in 10th grade, to answer your question, in 10th grade, I took the first time home buyer class. The thing is, and I think I tell my kids all the time, success has no age. Anyone right now, my kids right now could take the first time home buyer class. It's $30.
Wow.
My kids right
30
now could take
bucks.
it's $30. So
Okay.
anyone could take it.
Uh-huh.
It's who's going to take it. So I took it in 10th grade. I got a job at Bank of America at 19. I learned mortgages, and I bought a home at 20.
And it changed your life, that one home, right? That one class.
It started the business that I have now. It started that at 23 years old. I quit corporate America and never went back. The last time I worked was 23.
When you were how old?
23. That was the last time I had a
Whoa.
job.
So you've been your own boss since you were 23 years old.
Correct. Yeah.
What a blessing. And so I have to give you honor. I have to give you kudos because based on my research about you, you are a Black-owned real estate company.
Correct.
That is a big deal. Like, it's very large. I think you said you have like 68 agencies working for you. Okay, so how hard was it for you being an African American man to launch this business?
That's a good question. Damn, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in.
Go
I'm gonna be
in.
honest. It's all right. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna be vulnerable, and I'm gonna be honest. So internally, it's very hard
Mm-hmm.
because you start creating lies. Because I'm black, I can't do this. Because I'm black, I can't do this. And some of it might be true, but the fact that you start with that, it will hold you back.
Oh,
So
yes.
so I rather move forward and get smacked in my face instead of in my heart saying I'm going to get smacked in my face, so I won't move forward.
Right.
So that's number one. It's like the internal war against yourself is the difficult part because you think everyone is against you, right? And so you don't give yourself a shot. So that part was hard for me.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot. I have to grow a lot. And I didn't know how to be professional. And when I say professional, meaning, I wanted to do a lot of stuff my way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to do my way. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do it corporate America way. I want to do it
Right.
my way. Social
Mm-hmm.
media came out. I'm on social media, but
Mm-hmm.
this is when professionals wasn't on social media.
Right.
So I want to do it my way. And then next is I believe I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I
Nothing
am
wrong
a
with that.
hater. I am a hater. I
Mm-hmm.
truly I get upset with the black dollar. I think the black dollar is the most disrespected dollar in the community. It doesn't stay in the community, and it runs away right away. Just it escaped the community so fast. I truly in my neighborhood I don't understand why people in my neighborhood or real estate agents in my neighborhood are with a Keller Williams or a Century 21.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't understand that, right?
Uh-huh.
Because
Uh-huh.
you don't see a Century 21 in my neighborhood.
Right.
So if they're not giving back to my neighborhood, you don't see them at the nonprofits, you don't see them doing anything for the neighborhood. Why are you working with someone that's you just financing the war against you? Because they live in a different neighborhood, so their policies, they voting for different policies than us. But you are giving them that money to vote for those particular policies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really hard for me to understand. And I kind of don't understand it still to this day. And again, in our neighborhood, we sell the most assets. We
Okay. I bet
sell
you
the
do.
most real estate,
Right. I believe
right?
that. Yes.
And so we giving away the most asset. We work for a company that's not supporting the neighborhood. It's hard for me, one, to stand back and watch what's happening and understanding the economy. And also it's hard to see it's hard to me to for me to understand why the neighborhood is not coming together and taking real estate to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And so at times I think because I'm so outspoken,
Uh-huh.
it gets in the way of the business sometimes, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I'm a passionate person, and so those two things I think it was a little tougher
Uh-huh.
than it had to be. But I would also say this: for me I grew this business because of my personality, and I focus on the thing that God has given me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a gift and a curse where common sense, I understand the people business.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I understand what makes you smile.
Right.
I believe I understand what makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're not a number to me. I could respect you and I could make you feel comfortable around me and in my business. And because of that, this is your home as well. And I grew fast because of that.
I love that answer. It is so powerful. And thank you for being transparent.
Yeah.
And thank you for being honest because I'm sure when people look at you or hear you, they're like, how did he do this?
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And then, Alex, if you don't know it, I'll share it with you. I am a financial coach. And so I try to help people learn how to manage their money. So if I have someone listening, right, and they are just so excited about what you're saying, if they buy one or two homes, how do they manage the debt that comes with those homes?
Well, you pay your monthly bills. That's number one, right?
Okay, so
So you think about debt like this because this is let's have barbershop talk, salon talk. Let's have salon talk,
okay,
right? Some people gonna say, "Oh, real estate or stocks." I believe in
okay,
real estate. I'm like, no
uh-huh,
brainer. Real estate, security will never go out of business. A shelter will never go out of business. I believe in real estate. That's point blank,
okay,
right? Some people say, should you pay off your home or buy another home? I believe in buy another home and not pay off your home. It doesn't make sense to me. Why would I double up my payments when I could get another home that's paying me again and double paying me? Like the debt's there. I could have life insurance cover the debt if something happened to me, but the debt's there. I'm managing the bank's property, and I'm getting paid $3,000 to $4,000 profit to manage. I'm okay with that.
You know what? Now you made my
I'm okay with that.
antenna. You made my
Yeah.
antenna go up because honestly, we have to learn how to manage our money and we have to learn how to, I won't say it in a bad way, but we have to learn how to work the system to where it's going to benefit us. So I heard you say something that I really haven't heard anyone really say. But you said, okay, if you have the debt, life insurance policy will cover the debt.
Yep.
So can you talk on that just
Me-
a little bit? So if someone is thinking about it, but they're thinking about, okay, what's going to happen to my children if I
Correct.
leave them with all of that? Can you talk a little bit about that and say why do you think this is a way?
Yeah.
Alice, that's just I mean, to me, that's a phenomenal way to manage it. But I would because you are the expert, I would prefer for you to talk on it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I just want to share, I don't have a license to sell life insurance. So this is just my common sense,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we have term and whole life insurance, right? We have two options, right? To me,
Mm-hmm.
term is the bridge, is bridging the person you're going to be. So
Okay.
if I'm saying I have a dream, I'm going to be a billionaire, at the age of 40, 20.
Mm-hmm.
But that means you should get a 20-year life, like a term insurance, to me, opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
so while you chasing that future you, at least you have some cheap protection. But if something happened, it's huge,
Right.
right? Then whole is you starting now, but it's for you from right now, but it's also for it's for the future you, but it's the one that you're going to marry, the one you're going to stay with for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So once you achieve your goals, you didn't die, you got whole by your side, right? So with that being said, you want to make sure you have enough life insurance to cover your debts, right? So if your debt is worth, you have a $500,000 debt, so you definitely want to use some type of life insurance to make sure that is covered, right? If something happens to you,
Right. Well,
now you do that, you don't have nothing to worry about at that point, because again, we solve the money problem, we solve the finances, the thing that we worry about, argue about, get a divorce for, we solve that problem. With that being said, like I said, is I don't care about the debt. I'm just gonna go get more debt. As long as the debt keep paying me, then I'm okay with debt, because it's something called equity, right? If I got debt, great example, I got debt 20 years ago, right? In 2026, that's when I bought my first home. In 26, bought my first home. It was debt. At the time, it was $389. Well, today that debt is like $157,000 or something like that.
Right.
Okay, well, it's $157,000. All right, guess what happened? That area grew. It became more valuable.
Right.
So I bought it at $389. That's how much the house was worth, right? 20 years ago. Well, today that same home is now worth almost $1 million. So right now is at 157, but it's worth $1 million.
Tell me who wins in that. That is so smart. You have learned how to do this thing.
Yeah, it's just if we sit back and think about real estate, it's crazy because the littlest thing could add wealth to your real estate. If Trader Joe's come into your neighborhood, wealth. If a new plan to improve things in your neighborhood, wealth, this wealth, equities keep going up. Transportation, if a new train station, community rail, equity is going up. So if we could create our own value and create our own equity in our neighborhood, why wouldn't we?
That's very smart. That's very smart. Look, I see why you were TEDx.
That's a no-brainer. That's
Right.
actually a no-brainer. So I would tell everybody who's listening, look at your neighborhood, because there's a lot of money in your neighborhood. What can you do to improve your neighborhood? Talk to your neighbors and say, let's improve this street. We can improve, if one good street to say, I'm going to improve this street, I'm going to keep the grass cut, I'm going to get an after school program on the street at someone's house, I'm going to We're going to fight for a community supermarket. We are going to improve the street. Guess what? And I give it about 3 to 5 years. Equity is going to go sky high because everyone's going to hear about what y'all did in the street, and everybody going to want in. Once everyone want in, well, the numbers, they're going to have to pay to get in. Once they have to pay to get in, the equity is going to go up.
Yeah, that's true.
We created that number. It's not the world. Humans create value.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm so thankful that you shared that insight because, like, you got my wheels turning because most of the information that you're sharing, I haven't dealt with it or I haven't heard it before. So, listeners, if you even have to go back and get your notebook pad and write it down, please come back and listen because this is an episode that can help you turn your money around and it can change the trajectory of your retirement. We take saving lives and living beyond or what you imagine. That's very important. So that's why Mr. Alex is here. And then one last thing that we need to discuss that I think we all need to know about is this FHA and Section 8. And I know that's an area that you know about. Can you talk to us about that? Because I can't let you go without that.
Yes. I mean, FHA, again, is just a government back program, right? And it allows you, it's pros and cons. I want to give you pros and cons like any product. You have to pay something called PMI, private mortgage insurance, to use this FHA product. It allows you to put down 3.5% down on a home. Okay. You don't need the best credit. I believe the lowest is like 580, right? You don't need the best credit. But the 3.5 is the way you get into the real estate game. You don't go and buy a single family. You don't go buy a condo, everyone. You buy the biggest home you can afford, a 4-family or 3-family or 2-family. You want to purchase something that's actually going to make you money. You do not want to buy a condo. You do not want to buy a single family. That should even be in your mind for your first home. All you're doing is buying a job because if you quit your job, you lose that. But if you quit your job on a 4-family, you got your tenants paying your rent anyway, your mortgage. You quit your job on a 3-family, you got your tenants paying your mortgage, right? So let's not buy jobs for our first home. Let's buy the biggest home possible that's going to give us the greatest return and use the FHA product. Now, there's other products than the FHA product that you could use that's better too. Me personally, I love the NACA product. I love NACA. NACA, that's a great product. No, you don't have to put anything down. No closing costs. And also, it doesn't go by your credit score. It goes by your credit report.
Say that again. I never heard of that, Alex.
Yeah, it doesn't go by your credit report.
Okay.
It doesn't go by your credit score. It goes by your credit report. So that means, say I have a lot of things on my credit. I missed a lot of payments, but I clean it up. I start paying stuff. I pay stuff off, and now I got a 580. But they don't care about my credit score. They're going to look, oh, you paid everything off. We're going to give you a loan, right?
And you said that's called NACA.
NACA. It's called NACA.
NACA. Okay. Yeah. All right. Keep going.
Yep. So that's a phenomenal product. I love that product as well. And then we have the BHA product. The BHA product, I'm not too sure if it's, and it might be in all the U.S. states, but if we have a BHA product that allow people with a voucher, right, on Section 8 to purchase a home. If you're on a BHA program, a Section 8, I advise you to pause this right now and call your caseworker to see if they have this program, because this is the best program out for you. To turn your voucher into a mortgage, you could actually buy a home. And guess what? Just like they was helping you pay your rent, they're going to help you pay your mortgage, right? And it is bonkers. Now, this program has changed so many generations. It's unbelievable. 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 I love this program. I love the idea of this program. Right now, it's probably the best time to be alive and take advantage of this program. Because back in the days, you will die on Section 8. Today, you could buy a 3-family on Section 8.
You know what? See, I didn't know that either, but you called that the BAH. What's the name of that program?
BAH.
BAH.
Sorry, BHA. BHA.
Okay.
BHA. Yep. And you could say Section 8 to home ownership. So if you're Googling it, say Section 8 to home ownership. If y'all Googling it, because that BHA is in my state So it obviously will name you have a different name.
Wow. So if you're on the Section 8 program, like you say, whoa, hold, stop, pause this video.
Pause right now.
And they really will let you use the voucher to buy your own home.
Yep.
Yes, it is secrets.
An agent is closing tomorrow. One of the agents in the office is closing for one of their clients tomorrow. That same agent is doing NACA again with one of our other clients. NACA is a no-brainer. Again, I just want you to be wealthy, right? And if you think wealth is not in your blood, well, I guarantee you, if you try some of the things I spoke about today, you're gonna say, wait a minute, it is in my DNA, right? It's the education. What I'm doing is educating you. What you should be doing is executing. And I'm talking to your listeners and your viewers. You need to start executing. I educate, you execute. And I think that's a good deal between you and I. I'll keep talking, you keep executing, you're gonna keep winning.
Oh, Alice, this was so good, and I have really plucked your brains, but can you tell the listeners a little bit about your book and the title of your book? Because I think it's a very important read.
Yeah.
It is.
Mortgage before marriage, finances before fiance, Rockefeller before Beyonce. That is my book. It's a step-by-step guide. It's all about myself and how I grew up, how I added real estate to my life, to my marriage, to my kids' life, how I bought homes. I'm totally honest and vulnerable in that particular book. And I truly believe the way you love yourself is by taking care of yourself financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And then you love someone else. I'm not going to fall in with someone else before I fall in love with myself. I'm not going to worry about their debt. I need to worry about my debt, So before you find Mrs. Right or Mr. Right, make sure you get your finances right, because it's very important. It's very important. I want to be honest with you. No one's going to love you like you love you. I don't care who's on this earth say they love you. No one's going to say, hey, there's one more bread, and I know this bread's going to keep one of us alive. You can have it. You have to take care of yourself, and then find someone else that believe in the same thing you believe in. They want to take care of themselves. And I want to leave you with this few more nuggets. When you're choosing a partner, believe it or not, the closer the credit score is, the more compatible y'all are, right? So if you're dating someone and you're at an 800, make sure that person is between a 790 or 810. Y'all most likely have a greater chance to be together based on credit score, right? Because we all know credit score is mindset, ability, is the way you handle money and your responsibility, right? So that's a cheat sheet. And then also first dates, you have to start asking real questions. Who cares what color they like or their favorite color? Who cares about their siblings? You're not marrying their siblings. You want to understand their mindset. You want to understand how they deal with their self, with their finances, what's their plans for the future, what keeps them inspired. These are real questions that's really going to affect your marriage, affect your relationship. But we want to get that out early, because I don't want you to fall in love with the wrong person. And then it's hard to leave that person, right? And last but not least, prenups. Prenups is okay. It's a safe tool. And I want you to think of a prenup like this. A prenup is a future love letter, a future financial love letter to yourself. It's telling yourself, I'm going to protect you. No one's going to take money from you. You are going to be protected. That's what a prenup is, right? And so if you think of it that way, if anyone feel upset or disrespected that you want to sign a prenup, clearly that person's not for you at all. So you can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, Alex E. Edwards, on all platforms, on TikTok as well. Go purchase Mortgage Before Marriage. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on my website, mortgagebeforemarriage.com. Buy some merch as well. But if you have any other questions, please reach out to me on Instagram. And I can't wait to to be some type of assistance.
Well, you said last, but guess what? I got one more for you, and
Okay.
I
I'm
believe
definitely
in
here
my
for you.
good. I know you're ready for me,
Yeah, definitely.
but I just believe in my heart that I need to ask you this question, and I think it will come from you better than from me because it's a man's perspective. We have a couple, and the lady, she's just so in love, but the guy doesn't want to reveal his finances to her. Like, can we look at our credit scores together? What type of debts you got? You know, he always got an excuse as to why he's not providing this information. Please give this woman some advice before we end our discussion.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous, right? And if he's hiding now, he's gonna hide forever. And you about to, and so thank you for asking me that because she already sees the red flags, and she could now. You have to decide: are you going to ignore the red flags and then something else is going to be hidden. Something else is going to be hidden, right? We all know finances is uncomfortable.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
And I want to be honest, this marriage that they're going into, Queen, you are going to be married, but you're going to be single in a marriage. This is what you're about to set yourself up to. It's a lot of people is walking around single in a marriage. And a lot of people is walking around married roommates. And because they're not one. Finances is so important. How you going to get ahead? What's your financial plan? When are you going to buy a house? You should have bought a house before marriage and not worry about just loving this guy. Love you. Focus on your finances. And this is what I'm talking about, sister. Where your kids going to go to school? What y'all going to do when y'all 50? What's the retirement plan? When y'all going to travel? Sometimes marriages get so boring. They do the same thing over and over, never go on vacation, right? And you know why? Because they didn't sit down and plan. The prenup. This is how our marriage is going to be ran. These are the accounts for the vacation, for this, for that. There's no planning. My wife and I had 2 accounts before I even proposed. We had
Wow.
$50 both putting in weekly and another one $100 weekly. So it's a no-brainer. We use one account for dates, another account for vacation. We still have that account. We've been married for 10 years this year, right? So I could go in her bank account. I don't ever go in her bank account. She'd go in my bank account.
That's
She
how
has
it's
access
supposed
to
to
my
be.
bank account. She has access to everything. I have nothing to hide.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now I want to be honest, because I don't want any man or female to say, "What if you're struggling? What if you have debt? What if you did?" And like I'm a dreamer. I'm a risk taker. I will go hard on something I believe in and spend thousands. And if it doesn't work out, I have to face the consequences to me. I didn't jeopardize my wife's funds, right? So you have to be vulnerable and you have to be honest. Because the more honest you could be, the more you could grow together and the more wealth you could grow. So if he's not being honest right now, he's not going to be honest later. And if he's not going to be honest later, then you are in a marriage, but you're single because y'all not working together to grow.
Well, Alex, listeners, as you can tell, I'm just struggling with letting him go. He has a wealth of knowledge. Again, Alex, provide your information so that if someone wants to reach out to you, they can track you down.
Definitely. Again, purchase my book, Mortgage Before Marriage, Finances Before Fiance, Rockefeller Before Beyonce. That's on Amazon. That's on my website, Mortgage Before Marriage. And please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Alex E. Edwards. Alex E. Edwards.
Okay. All righty. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that this information has been valuable for you, that it will make you make some decisions that can improve your financial situation. Again, thank you for watching or thank you for listening on the podcast. And Alex from Bartel's Money Talk, I thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay. You're welcome.